This is Mealaisbhal, the tallest peak on the Isle of Lewis. Being one of the first land masses to encounter the Gulf Stream, a cloud-covered top is almost inevitable, and it would take an immense amount of effort to be offered a view to enjoy and photograph on its summit. Today's video is a good, if not perfect, example of practical landscape photography. Effort and disappointment, struggle and reward. So join me on this chase of Mealaisbhal's glorious summit, behind the grey and misty curtain. I actually don't live too far from this mountain, but the reason why it's taking way longer for me to get there is because one side of the mountain is literally sheer cliffs, vertical drops, which is impossible to approach. So I had to navigate around it, literally to the other side of the mountain, and then to tackle it from there. So I've got to the other side of the mountain now, and look at it, it's just behind me. What a beauty. And I'm just taking a break here before the main ascent, before the main climb. What a place to take a break at. I can see the ocean, I can see the mountains behind me, I can see the rugged coastline, the islands and the little rocks at sea. It's just beautiful, and what a glorious day it is as well. Oh man, I'm gonna enjoy it very, very much here. So I hope I'm not misleading people by all these videos and photographs of the mountains in Lewis. In fact, the Isle of Lewis is really, really flat, and I just happen to live in Uig, which is the mountainous area on Lewis, which is quite fortunate because these are the only mountains here on Lewis. But guess what I found? After hiking hours in bogs and swamps, I found a deer track in the middle of nowhere. Now, I'm not sure if I can trust it or not. It is leading up to the mountain, but it's sort of winding to the steepest side, so I might leave it. I'm not going to follow deer because I'm not a deer, and the terrains they can handle, I can't. So I've got another 200 meters to climb, and as you can see, I'm at the cloud base now, and I'm pretty sure it's going to clear in a short while. If not, hopefully before sunset. So I'll probably stay here for a bit. If it doesn't clear, I'll just push on and just walk slowly and be careful in case there's a cliff waiting for me somewhere. But yeah, quite enjoyable. It's very nice, very nice. Well, hello, and this is supposed to be the saddle point of the mountain, and the summit is just over there. About another 100 meter ascent, and if the weather is clear, we should be able to see a fantastic view of basically 3/4 of the mountains of Lewis, which is quite spectacular. But as you can see, we are in the clouds, so no views for us for now, but in the hope of the clouds clearing, I'm gonna keep on going to the summit. I'm almost at the summit now. It's just over there, about another 50 meters ascent. But look what it's still cloudy, but look what I found. So that is wild blueberry, and it's edible. Not only is it edible, it's very, very tasty. Let me just have a taste. Oh man, just as I imagined. Sweet, sour, absolutely delicious.
I waited, waited and waited, hoping for weather to improve, although it never really did, at least not enough for me to compose a photograph. But during some extremely brief windows, what I saw that very evening dropped my jaw and lifted my heart, and I vowed to return one day to capture the true beauty of Mealaisbhal.
Well, I told you I'm going to be back, and indeed I am, and this time we are camping, and you can probably see my tent just down there. It's late afternoon, and the weather, as you can see, is looking glorious. We have a clear summit of the highest peak on Lewis just behind me. It's clear, it's beautiful, and I can see a lot of potentials. Now, although there are clouds moving in there from the west, but according to my vague and unprofessional estimate, they won't reach the summit before sunset, hopefully not. So I'll be hiking up to the summit now. Now, if I say I filmed this clip a week ago when I was here, no one, absolutely no one, would be able to tell the difference, to tell that I was lying. Oh man, now it's about an hour to sunset. I've seen some pockets of gorgeous fiery light in the clouds on the way up here, and now it's just a matter of patience, and even if the clouds don't clear again, annoyingly, I've still got tomorrow morning to try. And yeah, I guess we'll see. I think that's it. The sun had set and the summit is still quite covered by clouds. Yeah, so I'll head off pretty soon, and unfortunately no photographs tonight, but tomorrow morning is the one. I've got a feeling it's gonna be the one. Where clouds depart and views unravel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Well, today's efforts are not all in vain. I played with my drone a bit and I got some really nice, epic drone footage. You feel like you're sitting on the drone, navigating through this grand, beautiful palace of clouds yourself. It's quite sensational, and I hope you like it. And yeah, that's a wrap for today. I'll see you back at the tent in a bit.
Unfortunately, the weather quickly deteriorated. The next time I saw my camera will have been a week later. But the third time was indeed the charm. Before we get to the really delicious bit of this video, may I invite you to take a spin with me into the city of clouds.
So welcome to the summit of Mealaisbhal, the tallest peak on the Isle of Lewis. So this is the third attempt that I made trying to climb up here and photograph beautiful sceneries, as it should be, on top of this peak. And can I just say, I think the third time is the charm. I can't see a single soul up here, and there's not a breath, even a breath of wind, which is ideal for photography work and for climbing, and also unfortunately is ideal for midges, and they are insane. I knew it was going to be really bad at this time of year, but I had no idea how terrible it actually is. They were swarming around me and trying to eat me alive. Oh man, which has taken great toll on my photography. I can't even focus to focus or to discover compositions and to photograph. But I think I'll definitely struggle along because it's just so beautiful. Look at those mountains behind me. Those are the mountains of Harris down south, and they're just so spectacular and beautiful up here. And we can see a lot of, oh gosh, the midges. Oh gosh. And it's just incredible what we can see on top of it. We can see St Kilda's, which is the most remote island in Britain. And it's fascinating, it's spectacular. So over to the eastern side of the mountains of Harris, we had some gorgeous light on the strips of golden light on the mountains, and the mountains themselves are really interesting as well. We have two pyramidal mountain peaks, one further at the background, one closer, and the light was shining on the closer one. And in the foreground I've put this mountain ridge, which is on Lewis, really close to me, and it's got this really nice curly shape that's sort of leading us into the spectacular mountains on Harris, which is it's quite a beautiful shot. So I'm focusing on the pyramidal mountain that's in the middle, not the one that's the furthest at the back, because it's not going to be clear or sharp anyways. So that's my focus, and f11 ISO 64, which gives me 1/8 of a second with the polarizer on to give the sky more clarity and more contrast. And that's about all the technical stuff I can give you. I'm really sorry about me scratching my arms and my legs. It's just so horrible, this midges. It's quite a beautiful shot. I'm really happy with the 5-second timer because we're on boggy ground. Here we go. First shot in the back, really happy. So the second shot I took was off an island in the distance. I'm really sorry I didn't film it, but there was really gorgeous light shining on an island, but not in the mountains in the foreground. And I think this shot is my favorite so far. It's just so elegant and just works so well. So the mountains at the foreground has got this really beautiful layering effect, and they're not horizontal either, they are zigzagging through our frame, which is really useful if we have our subject focal point at the back. F11 focusing on the island at the back, ISO 64 and lathe of a second right now, but I think it was about a 10th earlier, 5-second timer. So my favourite shot so far. I hope you like it as well.
Overwhelmed by the vista and midgets, my filming seriously suffered. The last images of the day were 2 panels, each taken at golden hour and at blue hour.
Well, good morning, and the condition is absolutely fantastic this morning. We have beautiful clarity. I can even see the mountains on mainland Scotland, and they're just spectacular. Unfortunately, the weather forecast has told the lie, so there's no cloud inversion this morning, but it's still a beautiful morning, and I'll be thoroughly enjoying it. I can't even remember the last time I shot during sunrise. So it might be a bit frantic and a bit rushed, but I think they'll be good. It'll be fantastic. It will be quite an experience shooting sunrise up on the highest peak of the IsleofLewis. Just beautiful. So the photograph I'm shooting now is a beautiful square image, although it doesn't appear square on the viewfinder on the screen, but I intend to crop it to a square. So all the elements in our image, from the closest to the farthest back, are some lochants in the foreground, a little windy dirt road that winds in the valley, which adds some extra interest. Some a curly mountain ridge that I photographed last night, and in the background the mountains, the epic mountains of Harris. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. The sun is gonna rise anytime soon now over there, and when it rises, it's gonna flood beautiful light on the entire plateau, on the entire landscape, which is just going to be glorious. Now I know the window would be fairly short, So I've planned out 3 photographs to take. The first one is the one I'm currently shooting. The second one is a landscape view of roughly the same composition, but losing the Lochan and the road. So it's more simple, it's more minimal, and it's got less elements in it. Now this is really interesting. The sun has risen over towards the east, towards the direction of mainland, and we have some spectacular high clouds above mainland, the mountains of mainland, and they're just catching beautiful red, vibrant lights from the sun. And I am convinced that some photographer standing on one of among rows over there is very, very happy at the moment, definitely even happier than I am. And now the sun has risen, I'm being showered in beautiful light, and the mountains also, so I'll get shooting now. So yeah, the first composition I talked about, f11 focusing on the mountains in the distance. ISO 64, I didn't see the exposure time right. What was it? 1.6 seconds. Yeah, fantastic. Square crop, layers of mountains of different elements. Just beautiful, just beautiful. So the morning light has passed its prime. It's now turned from red and orange into this golden light. So I think I'll stop shooting now. I had a really fun time composing different shots, and it's quite a shame I couldn't get to film all of it, and I'm really sorry about that. So let me give you an idea of what I shot. So I think the main interest of this place is this curly ridgeline that leads you towards the south and the mountains. It's a natural and a beautiful leading line, and I was composing most of my shots around this feature. Alright, so I hope you enjoy the image, and I think with this I'll be ending this little project here, the project Mealaisbhal. It's been challenging, it's been fruitful, and it's been absolutely rewarding. Hope you enjoyed the images, and I'll see you on my next outing, on my next adventure. All right.